Okay, so I wanted to give a little update on my 1965 Ford Falcon. I've been wanting to install an e-brake, and so I did some research for some aftermarket parts. So Wheelwood has this kit, and so I purchased that. And so inside here, my e-brake was severed right about in here. So I did, push this through and connect it to the handle. And boy, you better not ever let this little spring fall out of here, because I could not figure out how to get it aligned back in there to give it the ratchet effect that it needed. And I had my son-in-law looking at it, and he finally figured it out. Got it in there, but there's no instructions on how to get that spring in there properly. It was like a puzzle. Took him about 20 minutes though, but he got it. Anyway, I was thankful, but I ran that through the firewall. I'll show you. Oh, actually, I need my light. Okay, so down here, I ran it through the firewall, as you can see, and they give you this nice big fat grommet to get through there. And then I ran it down underneath, put a bracket there, put another bracket there, then I made this bracket just to hold the end in place. Then I bought this spring and this lever from Eckler's, and I decided to there was a hole there already, so I just drilled the hole out a little bit bigger, and then I drilled and tapped this nut, put a screw in there, and it's mounted on my seat bolt. It just was convenient, and it's got lots of tension. It feels really good and really tight, but I'll monitor this. I don't know if this is something I'm going to keep or not, but anyway, that's what I did for now. Then you have this equalizer that the two cables go into, that I will be hooking up this cable to. And then really cool thing is this portion back here where the cables will be tying in here. There was nowhere to mount it, so what I did is I purchased this kit. It's a Rivet nut tool kit that I saw somebody on YouTube had used, and I was really impressed with it. Anyway, they give you these expansion rivets that have threads inside them. They have threads inside them, so once that expands in there, you can put a screw in there and mount anything you want. So I just thought it was amazing. About 30 bucks on Amazon. Anyway, so I ran the cables. I hooked them up to my, let's see, I better get my light again. I hooked them through the brake drums into the emergency brake lever back here. It was a little tough. I had my wife helping me get it hooked up, and then I pulled on the cables in front, and they're working. So I'm pretty happy with that. But then in my excitement, I realized that I really should have gotten the length of my cable first, because I need to take this whole shroud off, cut it, then put it back on. Okay, so the bit wound up being a 23/64 drill bit. I know I said there'd be no math, but anyway, so I have the rivet on my tool, expansion tool. So I'm going to put it in the hole. And squeeze it together and see what happens. Oh, jeez. I gotta use my shoulder to squeeze this in there. My gosh. Okay. Oh, hopefully that did it. Now I gotta spin this thing around and roll it out of there. Okay, you can see I got my first clamp secured, and it's nice and tight. Okay, so my tubing cutter idea didn't work because the inside shroud is metal and it's got these lines, so it was tracking on these lines. So I've had to pull the whole thing off, and I'm going to use my cutter wheel to cut it off. Okay, so that did a pretty good job cutting it off. Now I've got to go ahead and put the cable back in here and then snake it through here and go through the pain of agony of tightening it back up. So it's going to be fun. So I've got the cable back in here, and you can see on the back side what it looks like there's a nut that you can tighten. But to get to this nut, it's just about impossible to get a wrench in there. Well, it is impossible, so I've been using these needle nose vice grips to hold this one side of the nut and then tighten it from the back side. The trick is to get this nut started on it, get the vice grips on, and then tighten it from the back side. So I got the nut started, and I'm using an 5/8 wrench to tighten from the back. But now I've got spring tension because it's hooked into the emergency brake lever back here. So all that so I don't have to pull all this apart. Okay, so I strung the cable back through the shroud. I put this little end piece on here. Okay, so now I'm going to tighten up my bracket and run this whole thing through this sleeve. Run the cable through first. All right. Boom. And if I cut it off at the right place, then I should be golden. Okay, snaking this through here, and that fits in there nicely. Okay, cool. I'll tighten that up a little bit later. But for now, I'm just going to hang that bracket back up there, and then you see I've got a second one here. I'll put the other bracket on there. That should be good. Okay, so I got this one cable run through here, and I've marked it where I'm going to cut it, and then this cable goes through here, and then these Allen screws tighten it down. Okay, so I've made my first connection there with the equalizer on back to the first clamp there, or second. Okay, I got the other side done. I have run the cable up to here. Now they're both connected here. Now I got to figure out how to adjust this thing. So I'm going to pull on the emergency brake and see what kind of reaction I get. Okay. All right. Yeah, go for it. Is that pretty tight? Okay, cool. Okay, you can release.